6 hours. That's the window. 6 hours between his demonic, I'm blocking him and hey, pull up real quick. Blink and you'll miss the pivot. Blueface, Jonathan Potter for the paperwork, is sitting there grinning like he just won a hand of spades, holding up his phone like it's evidence in a trial nobody asked for. And Chrisean Rock, the same girl who 2 breaths ago was talking about probation in prison cells and how he don't care about nothing but himself. She's the one texting from a burner number, saying pick up Blue Rock. Wait. Pause. Read that again. She blocked him. Then she switched numbers. Then she got caught on her own livestream pretending the phone wasn't hers. Y'all. This is what we're doing on a Monday. 6 hours, by the way, is not a metaphor. That's a timestamp. From the moment Chrisean uploaded his demonic clip to the moment Blueface posted the screenshot, somebody could have cooked a brisket, watched 2 movies, and taken a nap. That's how long it took her to flip the entire emotional script. And the wild part isn't even the flip. The wild part is how practiced it looks. Like she's done this so many times the muscle memory kicked in before the feelings could catch up. We're not watching a breakdown. We're watching a routine. Real quick before I get into it. If circus diagnostics is your thing, the bell is right there. The subscribe button ain't gonna press itself. And this one gets worse before it gets clearer. Stick around. We pulled receipts the timeline didn't even know existed. So here's the incident, stripped clean. Father's Day weekend, June 15th, 2025. Blueface spent the actual day with Jaidyn Alexis and their 2 kids, Javon and Journey, doing a soft little family photo shoot that Jaidyn posted herself. Same weekend, Chrisean, 25, from Baltimore, mother of Chrisean Jr., went in for her second laser session to start peeling Blueface's name off her face, live streamed the whole thing crying through the numbing cream and saying that's what I get. 9 Mag TV via Facebook. And in between those 2 scenes, Blueface posted screenshots claiming Chrisean had been calling his boy Bodine, then texting him from random numbers begging him to come through. By Sunday night, she's on live denying it was her, wearing the same little blue shorts she had on at the takeover earlier that week. That's the skeleton. Now the meat. And before we strip it down further, mark the geography of this weekend, because the geography matters. Blueface was in California, in a house, with kids, doing the soft light Sunday brunch version of fatherhood. Chrisean was in a clinic chair in Los Angeles with a laser hovering over her jaw, live streaming pain to a phone camera. 2 completely different productions running on the same calendar day. One looks like a magazine spread. The other looks like a confession booth. Both of them know which one travels further on the algorithm, and it ain't the brunch. Let's run the quotes raw. No spin yet. Just what came out their mouths. Chrisean, on her live, talking about why she won't bring Blueface around Jr. anymore, is not doing anything to set that up to look healthy. There's no work done on his end and he make you look stupid publicly. Direct stream X up via the shade room. Cool. Reasonable. Mature, even. Mature for like an hour. Read that quote in isolation and you'd think you were listening to a co-parenting podcast. Healthy. Work done on his end. Publicly. That's therapist speak. That's the vocabulary of somebody who's been in a comment section long enough to know which words make the screenshots travel. And listen, I'm not knocking the vocabulary. The vocabulary is real. The problem is the vocabulary showed up 60 minutes before the burner number did. You can't deliver a TED talk on emotional safety at noon and be in his brother's DMs by sundown. Oh, okay, you can. People do it every day. Just don't act surprised when the receipts catch up to the rhetoric. Then Blueface, 6 hours later, posts the receipts. She just texted me from a random number talking about pick up Blue Rock. No, I can't. I can't, bro. You going too crazy. The caption, and I'm paraphrasing because the exact wording got reposted across 12 accounts before sundown, basically him telling Bodine he wants to pull up, but he can't catch a probation violation behind her. Listen, when a man on probation tells his homebar I'd love to slide but I'd catch a case, and then turns around and starts texting her anyway, that ain't love. That's chemistry. There's a difference. You'll keep mixing them up. Love is boring. Love is steady. Love does not require burner phones, deleted messages, or a third party named Bodine in the group chat. Chemistry is the thing that makes your hands move before your brain logs in. Chemistry is why grown men with ankle monitors text back. Chemistry is also, and people forget this, the most expensive emotion in the human catalog, because it doesn't come with a brake pedal. Love negotiates. Chemistry crashes the car and asks where the next one is parked. These two have been crashing cars in public for 2 years and calling the wreckage romance. The audience eats it because the wreckage looks like passion from the bleachers. Up close it's just two people running the same loop on different burner lines. Chrisean's response when the phone started ringing on her own live stream and everybody could hear Bodine's voice in the background? I don't know. I haven't been on my phone. Hot 97. Sis, the phone was in your hand. We could see the screen light up. And then, and this is the part that broke me, she goes, I do gospel. I really just got to move forward. I can't go backwards. In the same live stream where her Baltimore minion is whispering at her to get off the call. Gospel. Okay. Gospel as a genre choice is doing a lot of work in this sentence, and I want to sit with it for a second, because this is where her brand strategy peeks out from under the blanket. Gospel is the universal redemption permission slip in this culture. You can do anything, and as long as you announce a gospel pivot, the algorithm gives you a fresh 5U runway. Snoop did it. DMX flirted with it. Ma Dollery built a whole second career off it. Chrisean knows that. She might not be reading marketing case studies in between takeover appearances, but she's been on the internet long enough to know that I do gospel is a softer landing than I'm getting therapy, and it pays better than both. Whether she actually goes to church on Sunday is between her and whoever's listening, but as a brand sentence, it's a perfect 10. Disarms the haters, reframes the chaos, sets up a future single. That's not faith. That's positioning. Now let's weave the timeline, because the timing is the whole story. Blueface got out in November 2024. By the time we get to mid-2025, Chrisean has, and Karlissa is the one who actually counted this on tape, been publicly attached to 5 different men this calendar year alone. Bino, the one they call 33. Suave, the basketball player, and the guy who passed. I'm not making this up. Karlissa pulled the whole receipt book out and started reading names. 5 public attachments in 6 months is not a dating life. That's a release schedule. Each one came with its own live stream era. Bino had the matching outfits phase. 33 had the late night IG live era. Suave had the I'm done with rappers speech that lasted about 3 weeks. The basketball player got the soft girl summer caption rebrand. And the one who passed, that loss, real and tragic, also became part of the timeline whether anybody wanted it to or not. The pattern isn't who she's with. The pattern is the cadence. Every 6 to 10 weeks, a new face, a new caption set, a new aesthetic. That's not a heart looking for a home. That's a content calendar with men as the seasonal product drop. So when Chrisean said on stream that Blueface is madly in love with me, sit with that. The man spent Father's Day with his other kid's mom. He just hit send on a text telling his boy she's going too far, losing the son. He's blocked her on his main and she's still hitting him from burner numbers. That ain't madly in love. That's a restraining order in slow motion. Actually, hold on. Let me walk that back. Because there's a version of this where Chrisean isn't delusional. She's strategic. She knows that public claim forces him to either confirm or deny on camera, and either answer feeds her cycle. She gets the engagement. She gets the storyline. She gets the his blushing clip on her side of the internet. That ain't crazy. That's content economics. The crazy part is she might have started believing it. That's the trapdoor with this kind of strategy. You can run the same play on the audience for so long that you start running it on yourself. The lie becomes a load-bearing wall. Take it down and the whole house leans. I think she's somewhere in the middle right now, half aware that the madly in love line is a content hook, half convinced because she's said it on camera enough times to qualify as a memory. That's not a Chrisean problem. That's an attention economy problem. Spend long enough performing a feeling, and your nervous system files the performance as the real thing. Ask any actor who couldn't shake a role. Now imagine that, but the role is your actual relationship, and the casting director is the comment section. The deleted then reposted timestamps tell on themselves. Blueface posted Bodine's screenshots, sat with it for maybe 20 minutes, then went I'ma unsend my messages. Then he didn't unsend them. He left them up. Why? Because his mama was about to log on, And once Karlissa hits the live, every chess piece on the board has to be in plain sight. The Rima Unsend announcement is its own little tell. By the way, real deletions don't get announced. Real deletions happen at 3 a.m. with no caption. When you publicly threaten to delete something and then don't, you've created 2 engagement events out of 1 post. The original drop and the will he won't he hover. That's a man who learned engagement mechanics from his mother. Karlissa raised him in this. His not improvising. His running the family playbook. Now let me zoom in on one frame, because this one's been bothering me since I watched it back. The blue shorts. The shorts. Chrisean denied with her chest that she was at any function with Blueface that weekend. Said the video circulating wasn't her. I do not partake in activities like that. But the same shorts she had on at the takeover earlier that week? Tiny, electric, unmistakable? Those exact shorts show up in the holding hands clip outside. Same shirt too. Black on black with the blue. Instagram repost via 9magf. You can lie about the night. You can't lie about the wardrobe. This is the part of the case that wouldn't even need a lawyer. Wardrobe forensics has solved more reality TV mysteries than any private investigator on payroll. Same shorts, same shoes, same chip pedicure, same little chain falling off the collarbone the same way. The audience zooms in frame by frame because the audience is at 10,000 hours of practice. The internet trained a generation of strangers into freelance forensic analysts, and nobody on the celebrity side has caught up to the implication yet. You cannot say that wasn't me while wearing the same outfit you just posted 72 hours ago. The cloud remembers. The reposts remember. The fan accounts have folders. And here's the forensic layer everybody skipped. Watch Blueface face in that hallway clip when somebody else's voice starts coming through her phone on her live. His not blushing. His not flattered. His confused. That's a man going, why is she calling my brother when I'm right here? That ain't a man in love. That's a man who realizes he's being cast in a movie he didn't audition for. Pause on Bodine for a second, because we keep talking about him like he's a prop. He's not. He is the most underanalyzed character in this whole arc. The brother. The middleman. The one whose phone became the courtroom exhibit. Bodine didn't ask for a role in this storyline, but his number is in the receipts and his voice is on the live, which means whether he wanted in or not, he's in. And the way Blueface used those screenshots, passing them up the chain to his own audience, that's a small betrayal too. He sold out his brother's DMs for a Sunday night post. Family loyalty bent into content. That's a footnote nobody's reading, but it'll matter the next time these two need to coordinate something off camera. Trust, once it's been screenshot, doesn't grow back the same way. One more lens. The numbing cream. Chrisean said it twice. The numbing cream got nothing to do with nothing. 3 times, actually, across 2 sessions. Instagram clip via Theshidaroom on TikTok. Now why does a girl getting laser to the face keep insisting the numbing cream isn't the problem? Because she needs the pain to be real on camera. Numbing cream would undercut the whole scene. The crying is the content. The hurt is the brand. If the laser doesn't hurt, the heartbreak doesn't sell. That's not me being cynical. That's a livestream business plan. And let's talk about the laser chair itself for a second, because the chair has become a character. That chair is where she goes to be believed. Comment sections that fight her on everything else go soft when she's strapped in, face up, tears running sideways into her ear. The chair is her confessional booth. The laser is her priest. Every session is a sacrament. Pain in, redemption out, a 30-second clip for the timeline. And the brilliant accidental marketing of it is that the work itself takes multiple sessions. Tattoo removal isn't one and done. That means the redemption arc has episodes built in. She didn't plan a series. The dermatology did it for her. She just had to show up and cry on cue. Here's where the outlets split, and the split is louder than anything either of them said. The Shade Room ran it as a love story in trouble. Soft caption, stupidly in love. Let the comments do the work. TSR. XXL pushed the legal angle hard. Blueface denying paternity again. Chrisean threatening probation snitching. The whole co-parenting collapse reframed as a court matter. Hot new hip-hop went straight family court, leading with Karlissa's grandparent DNA test kit. Yeah, she ordered one of those off the internet, and built the story around the grandma, not the parents. Hot new hip-hop coverage. 3 outlets. Same weekend. 3 completely different villains. And that split is not random. That split is the audience to the outlet is selling to. The shade room sells to the comment section parasocial reader. Keep it spicy. Keep it ambiguous. Let the audience argue in the replies and drive the post into the next algorithm wave. XXL sells to the rap news adjacent reader who wants the legal mechanics, the probation language, the felony charges, and the case numbers. Hot new hip-hop sells to the family court audience that grew up on Moe and stayed for the DNA reveal energy. Same weekend. Same 3 people. 3 completely different products. That's not journalism collapsing. That's journalism segmenting. Every story now gets cut 3 different ways before it cools off, and which version becomes the canonical one depends entirely on which audience screenshots the hardest. Right now, hot new hip-hop's framing is winning, because Karlissa is the loudest archivist in the building. Now here's the countertake I keep seeing in the comments. Karlissa is just bitter. She's pressed about not having access to Junior. She's the real problem. I'll steelman it for a second. Karlissa is loud. Karlissa did go on live and offer $1,000 to anybody who'd put their baby daddy on camera. Karlissa called grown women rotten on a live with 300 viewers. Faye. That's not measured behavior. But here's where it falls apart. The woman she's defending hasn't said one word against Chrisean. Jaidyn Alexis has been silent the entire cycle. Jaidyn just posted Father's Day pictures with the kids and went on with her life. Instagram. If Karlissa was the chaos engine, Jaidyn would be in the comments. She's not. She's reposting baby pics. The chaos isn't coming from where they are pointing. Jaidyn's silence deserves its own paragraph, because silence is the most expensive currency in this whole arc and she's the only one spending it. Everybody else is yelling into the camera to stay relevant. Jaidyn just exists, posts the family content, doesn't engage, doesn't subtweet, doesn't even like the wrong comment. And the result? Her timeline reads like a calm room next to a burning building. The numbers prove it too. Every time Chrisean's lives drop a clip about Jaidyn, Jaidyn's own following ticks up. People migrate toward the piece. That's a strategy you can't fake, because the second you start performing the piece, you're back in the building. Either she's the most disciplined operator in this story, or she genuinely doesn't care. Both readings make her the winner of the weekend. So here's what I actually think is going on, and you can fight me in the comments after. This isn't a love story. This isn't even a hate story. This is a retention story. Chrisean's audience was built on being publicly attached to Blueface. Every breakup, every reconciliation, every tattoo, every probation update. That's the catalog. Without him, the views drop. Without the storyline, the brand has no engine. The tattoo removal is supposed to be the redemption arc. Look, I'm done. I'm growing. I do gospel now. But the redemption only works if she's still publicly adjacent to him. The numbing cream tears, the burner number texts, the is madly in love with me claim. Those are all retention plays. Keep the antagonist on the marquee. Keep the audience reacting. Now flip it. Blueface needs her too. His other brand. The Jaidyn Family Man rehabilitation arc has been quietly running since November, only lands if there's a foil to compare it to. He posts Father's Day pictures with 2 kids and a steady woman, and the implicit message is look how much calmer this version of me is. But that contrast requires Chrisean to keep being the chaotic one. So he posts Bodine's text screenshots. He lets it sit. He grins. They are not in love. They are each other's content strategy. You've seen this exact pattern before, you just didn't have the vocabulary for it. Wrestling figured it out in the 80s. Heel and face need each other. The booking sheet writes them on the same card forever. The storyline is the asset, not the people. Reality TV figured it out in the 2000s. The villain doesn't get fired. The villain gets promoted, because the villain is the reason the show renews. What's happening here is the same model, just decentralized. There's no network ordering the storyline. There's no executive producer cutting checks. The audience is the network. The algorithm is the executive producer. And these two are running the booking sheet on themselves, in real time, with no off-season. That's why it never resolves. It can't resolve. Resolution kills the show. And Karlissa might be the only person in this whole circle who's not running an angle. Loud, yeah. Petty, sure. But when she said you'll keep blaming my son when she had 5 other relationships this year, that's not a lie. That's just inconvenient. Hot new hip-hop pulled the same count. The hottest pill. Karlissa is the most credible voice in this entire arc. Read that twice. The woman who once threatened to put cases on 300 strangers on Alive is the most credible voice. That's where we are. And the reason she's credible is the same reason people don't want to credit her. She has no soft brand to protect. Chrisean has the redemption arc. Blueface has the Family Man rebrand. Jaidyn has the silent winner aesthetic. Karlissa has none of those. She's already loud, already polarizing, already the meme. There's no version of Karlissa that needs to look polished, which means there's no incentive for her to bend the facts toward a particular image. When you've already burned the PR runway, you can only afford to tell the truth, because the lies cost more than they are worth. That's why her count of 5 men this year landed, not because it was kind, but because it was checkable. Nobody else in this circle is offering checkable. A few jabs at the opposing read while we're here. Karlissa just wants attention. Sis, she's been on social media for 6 years. She doesn't need attention. She needs grandkids. Chrisean is the victim. The victim doesn't keep dialing the perp's brother. Blueface is being a real dad now. A real dad doesn't post text screenshots of the other mother of his child to embarrass her on a Sunday. They are soulmates. They'll figure it out. Soulmates don't require probation threats as a love language. DNA tests are disrespectful. Karlissa said it best. She took 3. So did her man. It's not foreign. It's paperwork. Let me add 2 more to the pile while I'm here. Blueface set her up. The whole burner thing is fake. Okay, run the math. The screenshots have the same area code as her last known number. The voice on the live matches the timing of the call log. He'd have to be running a forgery operation across 3 platforms simultaneously, which, be serious, he barely runs his own Instagram on time. The other one, Chrisean's been groomed her whole adult life. Leave her alone. I'll grant a piece of that. The original entanglement was lopsided. Power, age, fame, all uneven. But she's 25 now. Adulthood eventually has to land. And when it lands, the analysis lands with it. Pity has a statute of limitations. After that, you're just describing the same person twice and pretending it's still 2022. This whole thing wraps up the way every celeb Virex story like this wraps, with the people pretending to fight being the ones who feed each other the most. Here's where it's headed. The most likely landing. Chrisean does a 3rd tattoo removal session before the end of summer, live streams it, cries harder than the last one, and somewhere in the middle of the cry drops a new song. Watch how the laser becomes a music video. The pain isn't going to waste. By August, expect the redemption single. By September, expect her on a podcast saying she's in a better place while subtly hinting Blueface still texts. The cycle doesn't break. It just changes packaging. Stack that against the secondary likely landing, the one nobody's talking about, which is that Blueface gets clipped on something minor and goes back inside for a 90-day stretch. Not a full case, just a violation. And the second that happens, the entire arc resets. Chrisean's content gets a fresh well to drink from. The ride or die arc comes back. The visitation livestream start, and the redemption single gets delayed 2 quarters because the heartbreak single hits harder. That outcome is more likely than people think. Probation is statistically a turnstile, not a door. Watch the calendar. The path that flips the table. Karlissa actually files for grandparent visitation rights. She's been hinting at it for months, and she's got the receipts of being denied access. If she lawyers up, this stops being a live stream beef and becomes a docket. Once it hits a courthouse, Chrisean's probation status, her live stream income, her parenting clips, all of it becomes discoverable. Blueface won't be able to claim or deny without it affecting his own custody position with Jaidyn. The next 2 months will tell us whether Karlissa was bluffing or building a case. Don't be shocked when a filing leaks. And here's the courtroom domino nobody's running yet. California is not particularly friendly to grandparent visitation petitions, but it's not allergic to them either. The standard is whether visitation serves the best interest of the child and whether there was a pre-existing bond that's being interrupted. Karlissa has the receipts on the pre-existing bond. She's got birthday clips, holiday clips, hospital clips. If she files, she's not coming in empty-handed. That doesn't mean she wins. It means the proceedings would force every adult in this circle to put their finances, their parenting time, and their social media activity on a court record. Half of these live streams would become evidence. Imagine the deposition where somebody asks Chrisean to authenticate her own burner number. Imagine the discovery letter requesting Blueface probation report. Y'all are not ready. They are not ready. The aftershock 5 years out. And this is the one that actually matters. Chrisean Jr. grows up with every minute of this archived. Every burner text scandal. Every tattoo removal cry. Every grandma rant. Every paternity denial. By the time he's old enough to Google, the volume of content about his existence will outweigh the volume of his actual childhood. That is the residue. The industry will move on. The algorithm will move on. The kid won't get to. That's the bill that comes due, and none of these three are paying it now. And before anybody chimes in with every celebrity kid deals with that. No. Not at this volume. There's a difference between being the child of a famous person and being the plot point of a famous person. Northwest is the child of famous people. Chrisean Jr. is currently a plot point in a livestream serial. One of those positions comes with a trust fund and a PR team. The other comes with a search results page that auto-suggests paternity test before it suggests his own name. That gap is the whole gap. We can sit here and analyze the parents all day, but the only true non-consenting party in this whole thing is the kid, and his consent will never get asked for. Not now. Not at 18. Not ever. The archive doesn't unarchive. The opposition prediction. For everyone betting Chrisean's about to settle down and drop the public Blueface obsession. Bookmark this. She won't. Not because she can't, but because the math doesn't work. Her income, her relevance, and her storyline are all welded to him. The day she actually moves on is the day her engagement drops 60%. She knows it. We know it. The only question is how long the audience stays patient. The dark horse prediction, and this is the one I'd put a small bet on if I were a betting man, is that Jaidyn breaks her silence in a way nobody expects. Not a comment, not a clapback, not a live stream. A song. A photo book. A skincare line. Some kind of pivot that takes all the silent aesthetic equity she's been building and converts it into a product the algorithm can't ignore. The quietest character in any reality show is usually the one with the spin-off, and Jaidyn fits that mold to the letter. If you see a brand announcement from her camp before Q4, remember this paragraph. The favored side here, and I'm picking Karlissa, weirdly enough, wins because she's the only one telling on herself instead of telling on everybody else. She's loud. She's wrong sometimes. She'll go nuclear over a comment. But she's not performing love. She doesn't feel. That's why her version of the story keeps holding up, while the other two keep rewriting theirs every 6 hours. Let me say one more uncomfortable thing before we close, because if we leave it out, the whole analysis is incomplete. Everybody watching this, including us, including me right now, is part of the loop. The reason a 6-hour pivot can become a weekend-long story is because we click on the 6-hour pivot. The reason burner number screenshots travel is because we screenshot them again. The reason the laser becomes a serialized event is because we tune in for session 3. We are not innocent bystanders to this content economy. We are the economy. Every day a toxic, I can't watch this comment is logged the same way as a drop the link comment. The algorithm doesn't read the words. It reads the engagement. So when we ask why this cycle never breaks, the honest answer includes a mirror. The cycle doesn't break because we won't let it. Sit with that one for a minute. Some stories end with a winner. This one ends with a kid. You'll already know what time it is. Hit the like, lock in the subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss the moment this thing tips into a courtroom, because it's coming. Drop your read in the comments. Tell me who's running the realest game in this triangle. We'll be right back on the next one before the next tattoo session even starts.